Good afternoon. Welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Frank Granito in studio Tuesday, June 5th, alongside Kevin Coleman. 9 days until the World Cup.
Yes, I love how you open up the show. 9 days until the World Cup. Can't wait to get it going. It's going to be a lot of fun. Russia, it's going to be wild. It's going to be a fun time. Now, Steve, pan the camera to Frank right now. There's his reaction right there. It's going to be a great tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
When's the U.S.'s first game?
Yeah, see, they're playing their friendly matches. They just lost to Ireland 2-1 over the weekend. They're in a major rebuild right now. It's everything with U.S. soccer right now. We don't need to get into it today, but it's not good right now. A dark cloud is hanging over the U.S. men's national team.
I can tell you that we don't need to get into that ever. Yes, here we go. Chiming in from the back. Let's hear it.
Kevin, I think a lot of times you forget that I have control of your mic, and so when you bring up soccer, you have to be very careful, all right?
Steve, Caps here, baby. Caps here.
Listen, I'm going to get my Warriors win, and I'll be happy with that. Vegas was a long shot from the outset. We'll get them next time.
Yeah, all right. Well, plenty going on in the FCAC and in Connecticut as well. Final week of the season, semifinals underway. I'm going to tee it up to you to start off today. Your Ridgefield Tigers, a big win in boys volleyball last night. They will get another shot at the Staples Wreckers.
Oh, what a great win for the Tigers there, beating the undefeated Newtown, the number 2 seed. Now, what a great win for the Tigers there in the semifinals, for them to bounce back after dropping to Staples in the FCAC final. Talking to a bunch of the seniors, especially Christian DeVivo, was talking to him today, and I just asked him and said, hey, what's been the motivation like with this team here entering the state tournament? He said, well, going into this the state semifinal game, we want to ruin another unbeaten record, and that's their goal going into this state final game against Staples on Thursday. It's going to be a really, really fun matchup. They're expecting that one to be super close. I know Staples, they're ready to take on Richfield. They know that's not going to be an easy one because Richfield's going to come in super motivated. This squad's ready to go. They want to take home the state title this year. The senior crew, after being slighted last year, they're ready to go. Thursday night's going to be a lot of fun.
3-0 are the Wreckers against Ridgefield this season. Those account for all 3 of the Tigers' losses. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, though. Okay, now how does that experience play a factor here? Because Ridgefield is a group that's been in multiple state championships during their career. This is uncharted territories now for the Staples Wreckers, but you got the feeling early on with this senior class it was going to be a special group. I mean, how much of the experience factor do you account for on Thursday?
For Richfield, big, because a lot of those seniors now and juniors had great experience last year on last year's squad and the year before that with their great runs in the postseason. But a guy like Stedman Van Arsdale, he's one of the big players here for Staples. A great game in their previous matchup in the state semis. He continues to have a great season. The senior captain had a great game in the FCAC final as well. They're always relying on him to get the kills. So Stedman Van Arsdale is someone that Richfield is comfortable going up against now. They realize how strong of a player Stedman is. So this is going to be an interesting, going into this for Richfield now. Can they stop him? And same goes for Staples. It's the battle between Stedman Van Arsdale and Christian DeVivo. The 2 outside hitters have been terrific.
I was glad you mentioned DeVivo because both DeVivo and Andrew Nakel, they've gotten hot at the right time here, having really good state tournaments, and that's going to bode well for the Tigers if their top players are at the top of their game because numbers aside right now, I think whoever's best player has the best game. That's going to be the X factor in this one. The depth players are going to do their job, but the big names need to step up in this game if you want to win a championship. I really, it's tough looking at this matchup, thinking to myself, I want to pick Staples as a lock, beating a team 4 times. Nevertheless, a team of the quality of Ridgefield 4 times in a season, that is a tall task for anyone. Let's say the Tigers get the best of Staples in this championship game. Do you look at this year as a success for the Wreckers?
That's a tough question because I think you look at Staples this year, and this goes back to when we saw them during the spring tour. They wanted to bring home 2 titles this year, the FCAC title and the state title. Those are 2 goals. One's already been checked off. Can they get the other one? That's the tough hill to climb now. You have to face an FCAC foe, a rival in Ridgefield in this state's final game to bring home a second trophy. The one that I think means the most to any volleyball team here is the state title. And I know Richfield of the last couple of years have been wanting that state title. They're going to be motivated going to this game. And Frank, if there's one coach that's going to have her team prepared, it's Coach LaDanya. After her great success here at Richfield after all these years, so many great, strong teams, a lot of talent coming through Richfield High School with the volleyball program, boys and girls. This is their time. This is their time to spoil another season here, and I think that's their message in the locker room right now, is that we spoiled one unbeaten record in the state semis against Newtown. Why can't we do it again against the Staples Wreckers?
Remember, they won championships in 2014, 2015, 2016. Darien had gotten the better of them in FCX during that time. Richfield gets the better of them in states. Last year, they flipped the script. Darien takes home the state championship. The team to last win a championship before Darien or Richfield is the Staples Wreckers. They took down Richfield in the semis and then defeated Glastonbury 3-1 in the state championship in 2013. This is the first time the Wreckers are back in the championship since 2013, so it is, again, new territory for this group, but you're right. They set these goals at the beginning of the year. They've been so motivated and have handled themselves in such a professional manner during the season. It's really, I think it's going to be a lot closer. I would be shocked if this was 3-0 either way. I would love to see this one go 5, and you can ask me again on Thursday which way I'm leaning for who's going to win.
I really do think this is going 5 sets. I really do. This is going to go down to the wire between these two sides, and that's fitting as we approach the final game in the volleyball season this year. These two teams get to meet. I really do believe this is going 5 sets, and at that point, I really don't know who's going to win at that point. You have so many star-studded talents on both sides of the court in this volleyball matchup on Thursday in the final, and that's what you want. In the final game, you want all the stars on the court at one time, and that's what you're going to see. You're going to see Richfield with a lot of talent, especially coming from Christian DeVivo and Andrew Nakel, and then for Staples as well, Stedman Van Arsdale, one of the top volleyball players in the state. This is really going to be a fun night of boys volleyball here in Connecticut.
Van Arsdale, keep an eye out for Sam Greenberg as well. And Staples did win the FCX championship as well in 2013, defeating Richfield Tigers that year as well. We'll have more on the volleyball championship as we get closer to that on Thursday. That game is at Shelton, scheduled for 7 o'clock. For now, Kevin and I take a break. When we get back, we've got some other Monday action to cover. Plus, we got some big games coming up this evening we'll get you ready for, and that's next on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
We're back on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Boys Golf Division I Championship was played yesterday after a 2-hour delay. And for the second time in the past week, the Greenwich Cardinals have taken home a title. They are your Division I state champions, shooting a score of 293. Jackson Freddie, again the medalist in this tournament, with a score of 68. Coming in second behind them, Darien with a score of 297. That is the lowest score in school history in the state tournament. Alex Gu was the team's leader with a score of 71. So good to see the all-FCIAC golfer bounce back after a tough FCIAC tournament for him. On the other side for Greenwich, Kevin, this might be one of the best teams not being talked about from the 2017-2018 season.
I fully agree. And Jackson Freddie, wow, boy, what a spring season he's had on the golf course. What a great season for him and the Greenwich Cardinals. They deserve a lot of recognition. Great spring, and another title bring back home to Greenwich High School in the spring.
Yeah, Freddie is going to be one of the better athletes we saw this year. He had a really strong campaign this season.
I wish I could shoot a 68. Man, I wish I could just shoot it straight. How about that? Can I just do that for one time? Man.
You had like a 68 on the first 9 of the FCIAC outing last year.
I think I shot a 68 at the final, like the first 3 holes.
Yeah, something around there.
It was not pretty.
But no, I mean, 2 FCIAC championships in a row. They had a state championship this year. It's a great time for Greenwich golf. Good to see Darien bounce back after underperforming a little bit in that FCIAC championship. They finished outside the top 3. And it was a Darien team we were all very high on coming into the year with how much talent they brought back. Now you move forward and, you know, the FCIAC becomes a little more wide open next year. Alex Gu will be back for Darien. Greenwich is going to lose a couple of key guys, as will Darien. New Canaan, a team to keep an eye on, Kev, because they're going to bring back all 5, and they've got a couple of 8th graders coming up as well. We talked with Coach Brown the other day. So the FCIAC, again, in a really good spot. I wouldn't be shocked if they win another state championship next year, but it's just interesting and a little upsetting because you think about how good this Greenwich team has been the past 2 years, and it really just goes under the radar in a sport that isn't lacrosse or baseball.
Exactly, and that's the unfortunate thing. And now, you know, even talking to Scott Erickson, there's been rumors that maybe they'll move golf to a fall sport. That probably won't even happen. It's 50-50, but, you know, for Greenwich, yeah, they deserve to be recognized for 2 great seasons in a row. And yeah, you mentioned what Bill Brown, you know, the head coach of New Canaan Golf, he mentioned how, you know, next year they bring back some talent. There's some younger players who are on the team right now, maybe won't be on the team next year. It's going to be interesting to see how New Canaan brings back their team next season. Of course, Frank Granito going to come back as well, another talented golfer. And I know Darien, to bring back Alex Gu is huge for the Blue Wave next season.
Didn't do very well in the big tournaments this year, so I don't know if you go with a great golfer. You had Staples finishing 7th, New Canaan in 10th. That rounds out the FCIAC in the top 10. Trumbull right behind them. Freddie with 68, the medalist, -3, and Gu a tie for 3rd at even par, 71. We've got the girls' championship going on today, Kev. They had an 8:30 shotgun up at Toshua Knolls. So at the end of that tournament, you know, coming up in a little bit here, we shouldn't be too far away. I think New Canaan is going to be a team that's a heavy favorite in this one as well, coming off an FCIAC championship. Megan Mitchell playing such great golf right now. So there could potentially be 2 FCIAC champions this year in Division I for boys and girls golf.
Yeah, Megan Mitchell, I'm glad you mentioned her. She's had a great spring as well. A lot of strong golfers this season in the FCIAC individually. And so Megan Mitchell, another strong spring for her. And, you know, it's really been, and it's unfortunate we couldn't get out on the golf course this year. I know last year we got out there twice, and it was a lot of fun, I tell you that. And the FCIAC championship game over there at Fairchild Wheeler, what a great afternoon that was as well. So hopefully next year we get back on the golf course, because what a fun time that was.
Yeah, well, you know, with the pollen count the way it is today, I didn't want to have to make you
I
suffer through that one again.
PTSD from last year's FCIAC championship there at golf.
And of course, we've had our HA and interns around the conference talking with several of the champions from these spring seasons. Keep an eye out for the New Canaan girls golf team being interviewed in the near future after their FCIAC championship and potentially state championship as well. We've got to take one more break on Nutmeg Sports. When we get back, we've got girls lacrosse coming up this afternoon. Baseball semifinals to focus on as well. And of course, boys lacrosse still lingering for tomorrow. Plenty to do as we hit the final week of the spring season. It's all coming up on the other side of this break.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Tuesday, June 5th on the HA Network. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman in studio. Girls lacrosse semifinals coming up this afternoon. It will be Ridgefield and Cheshire, number 6 and number 2 in the first matchup tonight. Kev, as you look at this game, the X factor, who do you go with?
I'm going to go Lexi Held, the sophomore goalie.
I like that.
I'm going the sophomore goalie. She recorded her 100th save this year early on a couple weeks ago. The sophomore continues to shine, and she had a great freshman season last year. Really, put herself out there as one of the top goalies in the conference, and now she gets to showcase her skills in the state tournament. And if it wasn't for Lexi, maybe this Ridgefield team doesn't get by Greenwich. Maybe they don't get to the state semis, and maybe they don't. If she comes up with another big performance tonight, maybe they don't get another opportunity to go to the state championship game and, get another crack at possibly New Canaan or Darien, depending on who wins that game tonight. So I'm going Lexi Held, but of course you can't count out the senior captain, Caroline Colonel. She's really the heart and soul of the squad.
Yeah, I would also keep an eye as well on Lexi Pass.
Yeah.
I think both Lexis play a huge role in this one. Colonel's obviously going to draw a lot of attention. I think Lexi Pass can get some favorable matchups here and potentially put the Tigers in a good position late in that game to win. If they've got a lead late in this one, I think they are as close to a lock to be able to close out a game. I don't think you see any kind of collapse from the Tigers if they put Cheshire in an uncomfortable position early on.
I agree. They have strong defenders. And another player to keep an eye on is another sophomore, Caitlin Solminko. She's another player. Man, if you
mention the soccer season, I swear
I'm not mentioning anything about soccer, bro. I'm just telling you that, this lacrosse program, they are so many young players on this Ridgefield squad. It's a great mix, well balanced, where they have players who are freshmen, sophomores who are contributing. Then they have juniors who are contributing, and of course the seniors who have been so strong throughout their 4 years are contributing in a big way this season. So despite, say they lose tonight, Ridgefield still has a very, very bright future.
In a very good spot, especially with how many of these big schools are graduating some experienced classes. Yes, it's a young group, but I will be the one to mention the soccer here. Remember the experience of this team in the postseason and what they have done in their soccer careers. You've got a lot of girls who are going both ways with these sports. I think they've been in situations like this. They've been in games like this, and this moment is not too big for a program that this might be a little unfamiliar to. Because, yes, they made it to the FCX championship last year for the first time ever. They're not as familiar with the state tournament and these big runs, so I don't think the moment gets too big for them. You're really playing with house money when you think about it, and I think they shine tonight. Game number 2, New Canaan and Darien. It's more, I'll just ask you this question. What do the Rams have to do to knock off the big bad blue wave?
It's what we saw when Darien played Wilton. You got to win the draw. You got to be the stronger team in draw control. You have to be able to win faceoffs. And Darien with Katie Ramsey, she's got the height. So we've seen her use that to her advantage throughout the season. That's the big thing. If you're able to, and the free positions as well. You cannot give Darien free positions because look what happened, in the FCAC championship game and the FCAC postseason, for that matter, for the Blue Wave. How many goals did they score on free positions? I mean, you go down the list of the rosters of Darien, all the players who were able to score, the Humphrey sisters, Ramsey, Christine Fiore, all these players are so strong in the free position that if you give them opportunities to score, they will score.
You could potentially be looking at an FCAC champion in boys and girls golf. We have boys golf locked up here. Potentially girls golf, potentially boys and girls lacrosse in the big divisions, You've still got St. Joe's boys lacrosse lingering in Class S. Softball, Trumbull advances to the FCIAC championship, and you've got St. Joe's playing really, really well in Class M for softball, and then Ridgefield, an opportunity for baseball. So I just gave you, and of course volleyball, there's going to be one.
Yeah.
So I think I just gave you 8 sports.
That's unbelievable.
All right? Give me a number, how many championships the FCIAC wins in the spring?
I'm going to say 7.
What's the one they don't?
Baseball.
Okay.
I know Ridgefield's still in it.
Threw his Tigers under the bus. You heard it here.
I threw my Tigers. That's the one tough hill to climb there in baseball. I think softball, you're going to see an FCIAC team win it. I think, the rest of the sports, obviously volleyball, lacrosse, you're going to see it in both. Baseball is so difficult game by game. Can Ridgefield do it? Yes, they certainly can. But right now, just looking at who they have to play, if they beat Amity tonight, they have to go up against 2 very strong teams, possibly maybe Fairfield Prep, who has had a terrific season. Ridgefield, listen, I'm not knocking Ridgefield. No, they're a very talented team. I've been on them. I love Paul Fabry. He's my guy. He's been my guy since I was a freshman at Ridgefield High School. But that's the one sport where I think that's going to be most difficult to win a state title.
I personally think their toughest game remaining is against Amity this afternoon. I just think the experience of Amity, the little bit of vengeance they want on the FCIAC for losing to Staples in the championship last year, the Tigers are going to get the best out of Amity this afternoon. If they can get past Amity, I really like their odds against Prep or Cheshire. And they've got their 2 big guns ready to go. You've got Arts, you've got Price, they're rested, they're ready to deal here. The more we get into this tournament, the higher I've gotten on Ridgefield, because I was very, very skeptical after the debacle in the FCIAC quarterfinals. I'm not going to say 8 for you, but yeah, 7 is not, like, it doesn't seem as far-fetched as you want it to.
You know what? It would be incredible if we can get 8 teams to win an to win a state title. That would be terrific, and to bring all of these teams bring back a state title to the FCIAC conference. It just speaks volumes to how strong this conference really is in the state of Connecticut.
And think about, too, you could potentially, there are 8 sports, you could potentially have 10, because St. Joe's lacrosse in Class S is playing very, very well. They could win a championship along with an FCIAC school in L. In softball, you could have Trumbull and St. Joe's both win championships. Trumbull is very interesting. They win last night, 6-5, defeating Cheshire. They move on to the championship now, probably anticipating they were going to see #1 Southington again. Not the case. They're going to get Amity. I like Trumbull in this one. They've been the team all year long. And again, it's a motivated group coming up short in the FCIAC, looking to finish and leave their legacy here with another state championship.
I agree with that. This is a motivated crew here from Trumbull, and they want to bring a title home, plain and simple. To lose that in a tough way in the FCIAC championship game against your crosstown rival in St. Joe's. This is a Trumbull Eagle team that has come together, made a nice little run here in the state tournament. They want to bring home a trophy, plain and simple, this spring season.
All right, girls lacrosse going on tonight. Plenty more coming up the next few days. We will keep you on track with everything that you need to know about. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. We will see you next time for Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.